Alright, welcome everyone to another Radio Free Cybertron review. I'm your host Diecast, and this review is brought to you by The Chosen Prime. Here we have a nice package for Invisible. I really like the box thickness. You can squeeze the box and it's not going to damage it. Just really thick material that they're using. You have a nice retro box here, like a tachometer. It says DX9 of course on the front, ages 15 plus, which seems to be the standard for any company, third-party company. That's like the magic number. And then on the side here you have a picture of his two guns, some energon cubes, some sort of line art of him. On the back you have different views of him in race car mode. Then it says up at the top, DX9, Inner Dream, Eternal Hobby. At the top you just have the Invisible with the same thing, the Inner Dream, Eternal Hobby. And on the bottom, DX9, Choking Hazard. And then on this side you have 1979, some race car driver, Shadow, and whatever that is. I'm not sure. So that's the packaging. Real quick, this is the card that Invisible comes with. Has some really nice artwork of Invisible and the tech specs right there. Also, we have the instructions, which are pretty straightforward. And next we'll take a look at Invisible himself. So here he is, and he is a little back heavy, or doesn't have very good heels, so the only way to really get him to stand is to kind of lean him forward. But there is some things you can do on him to make it a little bit better. His wheels on the back here, this is the correct configuration for them. But what you can do is actually take this wheel piece like you're going to transform it. Open this back panel and pull this wheel down. And only let you pull it down so far if you have the wheel in, because it'll start to push against the front panel here. But once you do that, you close that panel back up. Do that on the other side as well. And then that'll give him a little bit more stability, but he still is back heavy, and the wheels don't act as great heels because they're round, so he still can tip over, but it gives him a lot better of a stance and allows him to stand straight up a lot easier. So I think that's just enough to make this pretty good for me, especially for displaying on the shelf. On the back here you can see also his front wheels can slide up and down due to transformation, which gives the arms a little bit more room to spin and do whatever they need to do. I kind of like having the wheels all the way up just to be able to see the top of the wheels. I really like how that looks. Also, as you can see, he comes with his two guns. He's got his silver handgun, and that looks really nice. Really nice job on that. And then he also comes with his shoulder cannon gun, which can angle down and up. And up. about that far and take it out to just get a closer look. There is his arm cannon, and this silver piece does not come out. Um, so, but it still looks really nice. As for transformation, to get this guy started, the first thing you want to do is flip his arms around, and yes, there is a hole right here. I think Mega Moon Man is actually making panels to fit inside there. So if that bothers you a lot, you can go ahead and pick those up. I think he's charging like $6 for a set plus shipping. I might actually check that out myself. So just flip these hands in and come around to the front hood section and pull that through, and you'll see it'll sit the head up top just like that, and then these little fins that pulled through from the seat right there, they just flip out to form the front spoiler. Really like that transformation. That's really neat. Then you can come into this middle section here. These little panels fill in his midsection. Just gonna flip them up and out of the way. Just like that. Then you can rotate these around, and it'll bring the wheels with it, and then you just straighten out the wheel, and that locks into the front. There's a little peg right there that that the wheels will lock into. Just lock the wheel in. On this side, same thing. Flip this whole section around, straighten out the wheel, and that just locks in. Next thing you want to do when you get the two wheels locked into the front is just come around to the waist section, pull his front waist together like that, then rotate him at the waist. And next thing we're going to want to do is take care of these arms. The arms you have to be careful of, because if you pull them straight down, they kind of hit the corners right there. So what you want to do is you want to kind of angle the arm a little bit to bring it down, and then spin the arm. And it'll slide right in. And then the hand on this side just rotates up and clips in right there. And then you can see half of the peg on this arm, and the other arm's going to form the other half of the peg. So same thing, rotate it in and turn it. It just pops in. And then this arm, of course, is a little bit more difficult, just because, but there's enough play there that you can still get the arm in with no problems. Just make sure the arm sections are in and tight, and then you can see it forms that back peg right there. And what that's going to do is that's going to peg into the legs. So now you can come back down to the bottom of the legs. Just take these two panels out and rotate them around, and they fill in the gap here. Same thing on this side. Rotate that panel around, it fills in the gap. Then we've already half transformed the wheels. You just want to pull them out, and you have to put a good amount of force on these to pull these things out until you hear a click, just like that. And then you'll see the round cylinder on the back wheel that sticks out just past the back of the wheel, just a hair. That's how you know, other than a click, that's how you know that it's all the way out. Then you can rotate the wheels all the way to the back. Just like that. And now you just want to start pegging everything together. And you want to make sure these spoilers peg together at the right area. I find it's a lot easier to peg everything together before you take the legs up, because you have access to the bottom side. You can just come in here and squeeze it just like that. And then you're going to want to pull the waist down, clip the waist into those hands, and then bring his legs up, and they collapse on top of themselves. Make sure you push at the back of the legs so they get all the way up into the slots, or the provided holes for him. And then the only thing left you need to do on this guy is just take this section, which was his waist piece, and that just locks into the back. And there you have Invisible in vehicle mode, and it is a really nice vehicle mode. It rolls really well. There's no storage for the guns on here that I know of, but the seat, that last thing I forgot is to flip that seat back. And there you have it. I like how it doesn't look too much like a robot from the underneath. It could easily pass as a Formula One car. There's some nice detailing with the suspension in the back there. Really nice. You can see the center exhaust, or the jet. And it just looks really nice. And it's surprising how small it actually compacts down to. Here's a shot next to him with the Deluxe drag strip, and they match up pretty good. I love Formula F1 cars. Just he's definitely got him beat, because the wheels are sticking out on the side, but other than that, they're pretty much identical. Here he is with Masterpiece Bumblebee, just as you can see how he would stack up. And then next I'll get him out of robot mode, so this is pretty easy. Take that post up, start to work these legs out, pull them straight out. The legs kind of separated on their own for me. Come around to the back, flip this wheel up just like that, push that in. Same thing on this side. Lift that up a little bit. Push that wheel in. And then next thing you can do is bring those panels around to fill in the back of the leg. Like I said, if you want, you can bring those wheels down to try to give him a little bit better of a heel. But then still come around, flip that panel around. Flip the spoilers up, the spoiler to become the toe. And they do have articulation, so you can get a pretty wide foot stance with him. And then unpeg the waist and just bring that around. Like so. And come around here, unclip the arms. I like to try and get the arms out of the way before you pull these all the way out. And now if you rotate arm just a little bit, when you bring it up, it'll bypass that corner that a lot of people have been having problems with. Same thing on this side. And this arm piece isn't always perfect. You just have to be very gentle with it. That way you don't take off the corner of this plastic. Then come up top, just unpeg the wheels, and then the whole assembly rotates around. Bring these spoilers together. Make sure you flip up the seat, because that's actually where the spoilers are going to go through the hole. And one thing I forgot to do is to bring down these pieces that fill in his midsection. Just bring them down, and now you can bring this front section through. There you can see the spoilers, how they come through the back. And then this is something that happens to me a lot. The head gets stuck, so you I like to use one of his guns to just get behind his head and push it up through. And spin his waist around. Separate his waist piece. And bring the arms around, spin them around, and flip out the hands. And then I'm going to bring the wheels back up. And as far as the articulation goes, his head is on a ball joint. It's a very tight ball joint. He can only go side to side just a very tiny bit. He can look down and he can look up due to there's an extra joint which rotates his head backwards for transformation. Didn't know those side panels were popped out a little bit. Just pop them back in. His waist does have a swivel due to transformation, but if you go too far, anything more, it looks a little strange. Looks like his body's separating apart. His arms, like I said, they can rotate around almost to a 360. Just because the wheel is in the way, they can go out that far without moving the extra hinge up. They have double jointed elbows, so he can bend his arms all the way up if you want. Again, due to transformation. There is a swivel at the upper part of the arm. His leg can't go back very far because of this piece. It kind of hits. If you bring his leg out a little bit, he can get his leg a little bit higher up, but then it's just out pretty far. But I must say, I'm really liking him. He is a very nice figure. I don't know if he's masterpiece enough, but he's really nice. Same thing on this side. Now that back panel does keep popping out, but if you wanted to get more of a leg movement, you could move that panel a little bit. And it does come forward. That way he can look like he broke his leg. And like I said, the feet are on a pivot. There's not much that he actually stands on. This black piece is very thin. Not thin like it's, I feel like it's gonna break. Just for him to stand on. If there was some way they could put a heel piece in this so you didn't have to use the wheels, that would have been really nice. But overall, I'm really impressed. DX9's been doing a great job with their figures. Can't wait for their not Astro Train to come out. I just keep thinking Purple Choo Choo. That's all I really keep thinking. So when Purple Choo Choo comes out, really looking forward to it. And that's going to be a lot bigger than Invisible, I think. Just for a size comparison, here he is with Wheeljack. And you can see they match up pretty good. Invisible is just a tad taller in the shoulders, but at the head they're actually about the same. It might actually just be the way I'm posing him, but they match up really nice together. So, and there you have Invisible. Make sure if you want to pick him up, just go down in the description below and click on the Chosen Prime link, and then you can go ahead and order this figure right now. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Diecast2 and Radio Free Cybertron at TF Radio, and also check out our Facebook page, Radio Free Cybertron.